Hey everyone. I am gonna go over the spreadsheet check-in number 3 with you here. If you're not sure how to do something or you don't remember how to do something, you can come back and refer to this video at any time. As you can see, when you open it, we have two parts to this. The first part is going to be the pre-processing, which is like to prepare and clean the data. And then the second part is going to be actually to explore the data, calculate the probabilities and things like that. Again, you can see that here on this these blue boxes. So let's go ahead and get started, and let me walk you through all the different pieces. So we're going to start with part one, pre-processing, and we're going to start with the data preparation. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do here is, you can see we need to make our own copy of the data. So you see the data, it's back here. You can see all that. We don't want to edit the raw data, right? We need it to stay as raw data so that we can come back to it when we need to, and it's not going to be messed with or anything. So you could obviously go and make a copy of the whole Google Sheet file, but it's easier just to make a copy of just this sheet. And so all the work's done in one file. You don't have to be jumping around in your Google Drive to different files. So if I click here and I go to duplicate, it's going to create a copy of my raw data, and I will come down here, the drop down, the little arrow, and I will rename it, and I'm going to call this edited data. That will remind me that this is the tab, this is the sheet that I'm working in. Okay. Next, it says to protect the original data. I'm going to do that by clicking on this little tab, the original data tab. I can click on the little drop down arrow again and protect sheet. You can see when I protect sheet, you get this little pop-up right here. And so you're going to enter in a description for this pop-up, or basically what you want it to say when you're trying to edit the wrong thing. So if I click here, I'm just going to say, you can say whatever you want, but I'm going to say do not edit. Now I can click here and set permissions. If I set permissions, you can see I can either restrict who can edit it, but I don't really need to block I don't need to block myself. So instead, I'm going to show a warning. Click on show a warning. Click done. And now anytime I try to edit this tab, this original data, it's going to tell me this. Oh, you're trying to edit part of the sheet that shouldn't be changed. And that way, if you really wanted to edit it, you can click OK and make your modifications, but you shouldn't. So we can just click cancel. No, we don't want to edit that, and it won't mess with anything. Okay, so I can close that down, and now I can go to my edited data. So looking at the edited data, here it is. I gotta move stuff out of the way so it's easier to see. We can do a visual exploration of it. We can do whatever we want, but I'm just gonna follow the steps. So you can see I made my own copy. I protected the original data. I made an edited data sheet. And now I'm going to make a key for all the titles. Remember the rule here. The key is basically a new tab that describes the codes, or the shortcut, the easier to understand titles that are more simple to type when you go to put it in like a Python program or something. Okay, so we are going to, let me get this out of the way. We're going to add a new tab, or add a new sheet, sorry. And we're going to call it the key. So click here, rename key. Now, the next trick is to go back to your edited data. We want to take all of the titles and rename them. So you can click on A1, cell A1, and drag if you want, but easier than that, just click on row 1 like this. It highlights everything, and then you're going to either hit Control C or right click, copy, and it selects all of the titles. Then you're going to go to your key tab. You're going to again go back to A1. Instead of just pasting like normal, you could, but it doesn't look good. So if I right click, paste special, and then transposed, you'll get all of those titles, everything you highlighted, but it's listed vertically. And so because it's listed vertically, it's easier to read, easier to see. Okay, so now you can see we need to make the key for the titles. The rule here is everything must be lowercase. No, you're not going to have it capitalized. You're not going to capitalize just the first letter. The whole thing is going to be lowercase. And then if you're either going to make it one word, or if it's multiple words, you're going to separate it by an underscore. Like this, if you wanted to change it to main genre and leave it as that, you would say main underscore genre, all lowercase, so that it's considered like one string consistent without any spaces in it. We don't like spaces. That messes with us and gives us errors a lot of times, or the opportunity for errors in our code. Okay, so let's go back to the key here. Index, you can see it's already one word and all lowercase, so I can just retype that. Movie title, well, I know we're talking about movies here, so I can just call it title. There's no other column heading that's like similar, so I can just call it title. If there was like movie title and then maybe on like something else, like ownership title or something, country title, you might want to specify that it is the movie title. But since there's only one title here, we can just call it title. Year of release, same thing. There's no other year there, so I'll just call it year. User rating score, I'll just call that rating. You can call it anything you want. Number of votes, we can just call that votes. Movie length, we can just call it length. Main genre, we can call that genre. And main production company, we can call that country. And so you can see now all the codes that I created are every letter is lowercase, and it's only one word. So now I'm going to go back and replace it. So I will select all of those and copy, Control C, or right click, copy. I will go back to my edited data. Notice that it's still highlighted, so I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to go back here to A1 and right click again, paste special, paste special, transposed. And notice what happens. It changes all the headings to the appropriate code, the easier to type, easier to see code. Now I'm going to clean this up a bit. I like to obviously separate the column headings from the data itself. So I like to make it bold. Just click there, boom. I like to underline it to separate it. That's here, the borders, click there. Click the lower underline, and then I like to make it a little thicker, so we'll go with a real thick one right there. So now you can see when you're looking at it, it's clearly separated. Let me get this out of the way a bit. It's clearly separated up here, the title or the column headings, and then the data down here. One last thing I'll do just to make life easier is I'm going to click to highlight the entire first row, and then I'm going to go to view, freeze, and then up to row 1. What that does is now when I scroll down, notice it keeps that row with me. So the title row is easy to see, the year row is easy to see, the ratings, etc. I can just scroll up and down and easily see that. Okay, so let's go look at our stuff. We have done everything to prep the data now. So that part is done. So let's go ahead and move on next to the cleaning the data. All right, we're just going to do a little basic cleaning here. It's not going to be too crazy, but it's exactly what we did earlier in the last semester, earlier in the course. So you should feel pretty confident on how to do this. First thing we're going to do is highlight duplicates. How do we do that? Well, we're looking for duplicate movie titles. So we can click on column B. That's going to be our column that has all the movie titles in it. We can go to format, conditional formatting. And then you can see here the format rules. Let me hide myself. I'll move my face out of here for a second. Hello, right there. So we're going to apply it to range B1 to B1000. That's like basically the whole column of B. We're going to format the cells. We want to highlight them, right, if there's duplicates. So in order to do that, we're going to use a custom formula. To highlight duplicates, the custom formula, basically what we need to do is we need to count if there's more than one of something in the column. So we're going to use the formula COUNTIF that you're familiar with, equals COUNTIF. We're going to scan all of column B, but really we don't need to check the title. We can, it doesn't matter. So let's just say B to B, which is all of column B. So B colon B, comma, we're going to start and use B1 as the guide. And then, so that's basically checking. It's basically saying count all the distinct or all the different values, the number of values in the column, how many of each one are there. But we want that count in order for it to highlight duplicates. We want that count to be more than one, right? So we can say that, but then we also say greater than one. So basically, anytime the count is greater than one, highlight it. And you can see right there, it already does these first ones for us. We can change the color, edit it if we want. Let's we'll leave it. I'm a purple guy. Let's do purple, light purple. And then there we go. We can click done. And you can see there's my rules. I can close it and move my face over. And then as I scroll down, you can see now all the duplicates are highlighted. Boom, boom, boom. Excellent. Love to see it. So step one is done. Highlight duplicates. Now we're going to filter out any rows with blank cells. What did I do? There we go. I'm back. Now we're going to filter out any rows with blank cells. So one of the best ways, easiest ways to do this is just to click here, select all basically in this little empty box right here. It'll select the entire sheet, go to data, go to create a filter. And you can see when I do that, these little upside down pyramid lines come up. And this is my favorite way to do this. It's quick, it's easy, it's efficient. If you have a larger data set with lots of blanks, there's other ways to do it. But with these kind of data sets that are somewhat already clean, we can just do it this way. If you click on any column, let's just do rating. I click on this little thing right here. You can see that this box opens up. And about halfway down in this box, you'll see this list. It gives you a list of all the values, all the different values that are in that column. Now, if there's any blanks in that column, it'll be at the very top in parentheses. So it'll say parentheses, blanks. So that's saying that there is. If I don't want those to show up, I can just deselect it. There it is. Click OK. Now the blanks don't show up. I can do the same thing here. Deselect it. Boom. And I can go through. Notice this one, there's nothing that says, it doesn't say blanks right here. So there's no blanks in there. So I can just ignore it. Genre. There is a blanks. I can click that. And I'll tell you right now, I know from working with this data that those are the only three that has blanks: genre, rating, and votes. And I messed up because I did not click done. So blanks, and click down here, make it okay. And then we are good to go there. The next thing I need to do is I need to trim the white space. So remember what that means? Like that means that a white space would be like if this right here had an extra space after it. It's hard to see and you can't tell that it's there. So it's kind of annoying to like find all those white space. So we're lucky because Google Sheets has included a trim white space function now, basically a button that does that for us. It finds it all for us. Anywhere where there's like two spaces in a row or a space where it shouldn't be, it trims it automatically. So it's really cool. There's like a data cleaning thing now. It's under data and data cleanup, right? You can remove duplicates, trim white space. It's pretty nice. Or you can clean up suggestions. I found that it's not perfect yet. It's great, but not perfect. So I still do a lot of the cleaning myself and then use that at the end to catch maybe anything I've missed. So to do that, you want to click here again. That highlights the entire sheet again. Go to data, data cleanup, trim white space. And when I click on that, you'll see trimmed white space from 7 selected cells. So there were 7 cells in this spreadsheet that had an extra space somewhere. You would have never found that on your own. That would have taken forever. Or really what would have happened is eventually your program would run an error when you upload this CSV to like Colab or something like that, and you would have found errors, and then you would not be able to find it, and you'd have to spend hours trying to work that through. So this saves you a ton of time. It is awesome. Good. Next, we want to make sure every column is the same data type. So what that means is each column here has to all be either numerical or categorical. The short, easy way to notice this is if it's right aligned, like all of these numbers right here are right aligned, I mean, on the right side of the cell, that is being treated as numerical. If they are left aligned, like all of this, like the genres or the countries, they're seen on the left side of the cell, that means that Google Sheets is treating it as categorical. So what we need to look for is, are there any cells in your data where they're wrong, basically. They're on the opposite side of what you would expect them to be. Okay, so this takes a little visual inspection, but you can see like right off the top here, we have these two titles. Title is 42 and title is 83. So that doesn't mean it's on the right. So Google Sheets is treating it like a number, but it's not supposed to be a number. It's not supposed to be the number 42. It's the title of the movie that's called 42, right? So we want to treat it as a label, as categorical, as a title. And so in order to do that, in order to ensure that Google Sheets has it right, we need to convert it into text. How do we do that? Well, if you click on the cell right here where the 123 is, it's like the format shortcut. I can click on that, and you can see it's currently set as automatic. So Google Sheets sees a number, so they think, oh, numerical. But we want it to be treated as the title, so we're going to convert it to plain text. You can see when I do that, it right aligns it and moves it over to the right. And now Google Sheets sees that 42 as a text value, not a numerical value. I can do the same thing with the 83. And there we go. So if I scroll down, kind of look for anything that's out of place, wrong, not aligned properly. Oh, here I see a NA. So I have an option here. I can delete this, right? NA is not applicable. I don't know what they meant by that. Maybe they didn't have one. Maybe, I don't know. But I could delete it. I could try to find it, like do a Google search and try to find it. Or I could use a numerical value that represents NA. That's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to delete this NA and I'm just going to put 0. Now you can see it's right aligned, it's numerical. And if I did like a box plot or something where that was an outlier, or I did some sort of scatter plot where that was an outlier, I would just have to notate that somewhere like, hey, anytime you see a 0, it means there wasn't data for that. There wasn't rating data for that movie. So easy to do, and it still allows you to work with it. The other thing you could do is delete the whole row. I try to avoid deleting rows if I can, because I want to keep as much data as possible, because I love data. Okay, so keep going, keep going. And I don't see anything else. That doesn't mean I didn't miss something. It is possible that I missed something. And if so, remember that data cleaning is like an iterative process. You're going to clean and analyze and then realize you missed something and come back and keep cleaning and keep updating. You're probably not going to catch everything the first time around. So that's all good. No big deal. Looks like doing a visual inspection, I have everything. So that check off, make sure every column is the same data type. I have that done. Now we want to sort the sheet by title. You can see it's already sorted by title, like alphabetically from A to Z. Well, in this case, from a number to Z. It's already sorted alphabetically, but we don't know for sure, right? There might be something in the wrong spot. We're just taking the word for it. When we upload it, it looks like it. So let's just make sure it's sorted by title as well by just doing it again. It's easy. Highlight the whole thing, data, sort range, because the range is the whole thing, right? Because you selected it all. So it's basically saying sort the whole sheet. You could say sort sheet, but if you want multiple, like sort by this, then this, you would do sort range. And I always do it just because it's a little easier. Short range, advanced range sorting options. Data has a header row, sort by title, from A to Z descending, sort, boom. So you can see it does change it a little. We have the ones with 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. I don't know what else it did down at the bottom, but it did sort it alphabetically now and numerically as well. It doesn't really make sense here because these numbers are not in numerical order, right? It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the number that the first digit's a 1, then the first digit's a 2, etc. If that bothers you, you could undo it, but I'm gonna leave it like this. It doesn't affect me. It's eventually I'll probably sort it in rating order anyway, because that's what I'm looking at. So, or maybe by genre as I go to clean or modify the data. So I'm okay with that. We'll leave it that way for now. Now we need to remove duplicates. I'm going to try Google's. So select all. I'm going to go data, data cleanup, remove duplicates. So it's a little tricky because if you want to make sure to select everything because you want it to be exactly the same all the way across, right? You want the same title with the same rating with the same year to show it's the exact same movie. Because what if you have a movie that has the same name but it's a different release year, like the Jungle Book? It's the original one and then the new one. They have different release years, different ratings, they're different movies, but they have the same title. So I'm going to make sure to select everything here all the way across. And remove duplicates. And it said no duplicates were found. So see, this is what I was talking about. There's issues to it. So I can just do a visual removal of it. You can see right here, a river runs through it. 11. I'll delete that row. And now I only have one, so the highlighting gets removed. And all I'm doing now is looking for the highlighting. So here, delete row, highlighting removes. Now I only have one of those. Here, John Q, same thing. There's two of them, so delete row. And it really doesn't matter as long as they're exactly the same. It really doesn't matter if you delete the first instance or the second instance, or if you had three of them, if you delete which instance, it doesn't matter. You're just deleting one of them if they're exactly the same. Now, if they're different, there is something you have to do more. Like here, The Exorcist, 1973, 391942. That looks like an error to me. Oh, 1973. See how they transposes? They switched those. This and this are switched, but they're still supposed to be the same one. So I'll delete the one that's backwards to clean it up a bit. Keep going. I have True Grit right here. They look, oh, wait, one's a Western and one's a drama. So at this point, you can decide, is True Grit a Western or a drama? If you're not sure, you can do a simple Google search. If you don't care, you can pick. I think to me, it's more of a Western, so I'm going to delete drama. But again, it's your choice, and you can do some research to figure out which is better for you. And that looks like all of them. So now I deleted my duplicates, and it looks like that is good to go. Okay, last, scan the document for obvious errors and fix them. That is literally just the eyeball check. Scan through. Let's see if we can find anything that looks weird and looks off. Does anything stand out to us? Does anything look like it doesn't make sense or shouldn't be there? So we already did a little bit of this, but I'm going to look at the data first over here, the numerical and the genre category. I mean, I don't see anything that stands out to me as not great or a mistake. Again, you can miss things here, and I might have missed something. But if I did, it'll come to light down the road. Everything here looks good. Everything looks the way it should be. Yeah, I don't see anything there. Looks like it's in order. Yeah, looks good to me. I think we've caught everything, or at least initially, I think we've caught everything. So that represents everything we've done so far. That represents the pre-processing, the prepping the data, and the cleaning the data. I'll create another video soon that will show you how to explore the data and calculate the probabilities, which is the second part. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know.